Hello friends, I welcome you again to my channel and I am going to present my video lecture on the topic named Michelson and Stahl experiment. Right. So Michelson and Stahl were the two scientists which are found to be responsible to declare that the DNA replicates using the semi-conservative mode of replication only. Okay. So let's begin how they came to know that DNA replicates using the semi-conservative mode. As I have already explained what is the semi-conservative mode of DNA replication in my previous video lecture. So let's begin with the experiment. Michelson and Stahl used the cesium chloride salt density gradient. Now what does this mean? First of all, what is gradient? Gradient is the basic difference between the concentration. Like if we talk about the diffusion, then the flow of molecules there occurs from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So there is a gradient, that is the difference in the concentration. Similarly, here the name is density gradient, means that the difference here occurs on the basis of the density, that is the heavier molecule and the lighter molecule. Clear? Now the cesium chloride, this is the salt which is also known as CaCl, that is the cesium chloride salt, is being utilized for forming the gradient of the density. Clear? So now the experiment goes. In what manner? First of all, what they did, they used E. coli, which is a prokaryotic organism. This E. coli replicates in every 20 minutes since it is a prokaryote, and hence it has been provided the heavier isotope of nitrogen into the medium for its propagation. Okay, now again the thing is, what are isotopes? Isotopes are the variants of the same molecule having different neutron numbers, but the protons remains the same, right? So normally N14 type of nitrogen is being utilized by the different types of microbes or the eukaryotes, but for the purpose of this experiment they utilized the heavier isotope of nitrogen, which was N15. What they did, they formed a medium, that is medium required for the growth of the E. coli, and that medium consisted N15 source of nitrogen which will be incorporated into the DNA in the form of the nitrogenous bases. As we all know that the nitrogenous bases, that is the purines and pyrimidines, possess nitrogen as their basic or the major element, right? So this requirement of the nitrogen will be fulfilled by the N15 nitrogen which is present into the medium. Okay. Next step, when the cells propagated or the culture was obtained, all of the cultures of E. coli were having the presence of N15 nitrogen only in their nitrogenous bases, right? Now what they did next, they took the N15th generation, the N15 containing generation, and later provided N14 containing culture medium for the replication or the growth of next generation of E. coli. Getting my point? First of all, they performed the experiment by giving N15 as the source of nitrogen for the E. coli to replicate. Clear? And when the DNA of the E. coli possessed only N15 series of nitrogenous bases in themselves, they were taken out or isolated and inoculated into a medium containing N14 as the source of nitrogen over here, right? So when this particular generation of E. coli will replicate further, that is DNA having N15 but medium having N14 nitrogen, what will happen, or what was obtained at that time? The first generation of E. coli possessed the DNA having one strand of N15 and one strand of N14, right? That is, it was the hybrid stage or the hybrid molecule of DNA was obtained, in which the parental DNA acted in the form of N15 strand and the daughter DNA was formed using the N14 strand. Now this particular DNA was further grown for the second generation, and it was found that here the 15 will act as a parental DNA and here the 14 will act as a parental DNA. But since the medium containing only the N14 type of nitrogen source, the newly formed daughter DNA was again N14 and again N14 type. It was again grown further and it was shown that N14, 15, and 14, 14, 14, 14 and 14, 15, right? Because the DNA replicates in the multiples of 2, one will replicate and form 2 daughter DNA molecule, 2 will replicate and form 4, 4 will form 8 and so on. So basically what you can say, the first generation which was obtained possessed the N15, 15 type of DNA, that is the heavier type of DNA molecule, because N15 type of nitrogen is the heavier isotope for the N14 one, okay. And in the second generation, the 2 daughter DNA which were formed possessed one strand of the heavy isotope and one strand of the lighter isotope. These DNA molecules were then, as I mentioned, isolated or were centrifuged. These were centrifuged for getting the exact type of density gradient. That is, the heavier molecules, the heavier type of the DNA molecule that is containing only N15 were found to settle at the bottom zone. The hybrid one, that is this type of strand N14, 15 and 14, 15, were found in the middle zone, and the lightest molecules of N14 series DNA were found to be present as at the uppermost part of the density gradient. Clear? So when this experiment was performed, it was concluded later that the DNA replicates by using only and only semi-conservative mode, but not conservative, neither dispersive one, right? As you can see here, it is clearly mentioned that the first generation possessed N15th. When given the N14th media, it formed N15, 14, that is the hybrid. One is the parental DNA and one is the complete newly synthesized daughter DNA, which is the basic of the semi-conservative mode of DNA. So Michelson and Stahl concluded or gave that DNA replicates by using semi-conservative mode of replication only. Hope you guys like this. Please like, comment and share my video. Thank you so much for watching.